It is great to have our family and friends join us again for this episode, and welcome any new viewers that have popped in to check out what we are about. This week we are going off the beaten track to the breathtaking northwestern Australian coastline. The road in has been pretty gnarly with the dust and corrugations, but it always somehow feels like that is the magic recipe to get you somewhere untouched and unbelievable. So hold on tight as we shake, rattle and roll into camp at the mouth of the Ashburton River. We expect to find a long history to share at the end of this track, which involves a pretty coastal town called Onslow, renowned for its laid-back lifestyle and fishing opportunities with both salt and freshwater fishing on offer. Good morning everyone. We are currently parked up on the Ashburton River, which is just outside of Onslow. We are very, very close to the Old Onslow, which we are very keen to go and have a look at. But our little campsite here by the Ashburton River is absolutely magical. You can see the colours. We're back on the red dirt. We've got this really big open patch that we can see really clearly if there's anything coming towards us. So it's been great for the dogs because this area is and can have crocodiles, but it's very rare, but you've still got to keep a really good eye out. So this river system has salt water in it until a certain point. This is actually the salt water end. We haven't had the need for Gus and Rosie's enclosure because Gussie has been able to go on a lead, and so has Rosie when she needs to, but as you can see, Rosie's always close behind. So she only goes on a lead when we're unable to supervise her. But we are moving on to another part today, a bit further up, because this area is quite muddy, and you've got dirty paws, Rosie. You just made me dirty with your paws. But as you can see, we have a lot of bites, and those bites have been really, really hard to manage. So we are going to shift up to the freshwater section today, and we are going to have a go at fishing up that end. Good morning, Gussie. Good morning, Rosie. Good morning. You're a Jumposaurus. We are whipping up a shepherd's pie in the caravan for our dinner. We have got our textured vegetable protein, our beef mince, and our taties, mashed taties to go on top. We've got our carrots, onions, and celery. Now it's time to start to chip chop, get it ready. And we have our taties in there boiling away, ready for the mash. A bit of butter, bit of milk. Now that the potato is mashed, we are frying up some onion, boiling up some carrot, and then we'll bring the mince in and start bringing it all together. We have now got the mince browned, so we can pop in the sachet. And this requires some water, so we're going to use some water from the boiling carrots. And we Scooby-Doo over the carrots. A bit more water. And this one then can have its TVP sprinkled into that water so it can puff up. And it can have its sprinkles. Then we half and half the onion. And vegetarian extras. Someone doesn't like celery. Alright, now for the last little bitsy, we are going to smooth out each of the mixtures just pat it down, make it nice and smooth. All we need to do is go back to our mash spuddy and scoop it in. And then make sure that we've got a really nice thick layer on top. The vegetarian option. And this obviously is another one of our same but different recipes. We were able to have the same items just with a few different ingredients in them and sit down and have dinner together and eat the same thing. And now when it's dinner time, we can fire up the oven, remove these handles, remove these lids and slide them straight in the oven just to cook them off with a little bit of sprinkled cheese. Do a quick emu bob to make sure that we have not left anything behind. Looking for anything, you never know what you might accidentally drop or sort of put somewhere and it gets knocked down. So, and also checking that our fire's been put out correctly.
On the road, headed back to New Orleans, driving in the country past old-timey scenes. Big birds were singing in the tall willow trees, mighty fine. 3 words written on a paper bag: I miss you, was written in a message in black, thrown in a van, it's 1,000 miles back.
Say when? And door for Gussie. Alright, let's have a look. Here, was he? Okay. What a spot, eh? Reminds me of the Murray so much. Yeah, all the big gums. Right on the river. Yep, this'll do. This is where my chair will live, right here. Rods in the water. Yeah, well, this is us for the week. What do you reckon?
Yep.
Plenty of solar. So I've driven up and down along here to a couple of different campsites. There's a couple of really good ones. Some aren't quite as good access to the water for fishing. Some have got a little bit too much shade for us. But this one is just right. We'll get plenty of sun up until sort of 2 in the arvo, and I can get down the bank for a fish. Beautiful. Let's get set up. First fish for the night. Nice caddy, look at the size of it. Look at that size of that caddy. Fatty too. Oh, size of him. A good size caddy. Yeah, big, I don't know, they call him a blue catfish or a fork tail catfish, something like that. Yeah, he's a good fish. But he's solid, he's twice the size of the ones I was getting last night up near the mouth. Yeah, I'll probably fillet him and use him for bait. Thought I had something else then, I thought I had something huge. It was bloody pulling like crazy. And yeah, Gus was onto it. As soon as my bell rang, Gus started carrying on. So we come out and the rod was going off. Thought I had a real good fish, but what had happened was he wrapped around a branch. So while I was trying to pull it in, I could feel him pulling, but I had the weight of the branch as well. So it felt like it was a massive fish, but no. Bait up, chuck it out again, and see how we go.
Got a little mission going on today, but it seems that I've got some door stops in the way. I've pulled everything out of this sink cabinet and I'm starting on a little project because these mats are too thin and move around. So we're going to replace this slip mat with the thicker yoga mats from Kmart. So we're using the original one to draw around and make a template so we don't have to remeasure. We just cut and go. Cut and go. Okay, we've got it all back together. And we are hoping when we take off tomorrow on that corrugated track that it gives us a bit of improvement. Right, now I'm sorted. Gus, come in. Look at that. Thanks, mate. Good boy. The history of Onslow begins in Old Onslow, where we hope to find some remnants and the remains of the original town site to give us a glimpse into the past.
So here we are at Old Onslow town site. You've got to drive right in. You see the sign as you're coming in towards town. Doesn't tell you where to start, where this sign is, nothing. So you virtually just got to keep driving in, follow your nose towards, you see these buildings from the road, just keep coming in until you actually get to this sign and start here. But yeah, it just says all visitors are encouraged to take nothing but pictures, leave nothing but footprints, to ensure the preservation of the area. Stick to tracks, beware of snakes. Crocs have been sighted in nearby Ashburton River. Yeah, no fossicking or removing artefacts. Here's the actual main town map, and it's shows you directions where to go. So you see it all in order. But yeah, pretty much the history is 1885. It was first gazetted as a town, Old Onslow. So from its conception, Old Onslow became an important part for export wool, gold, timber, pearls and pearl shell. So in 1882 the Rob Roy steamship was severely damaged by a cyclone while it was anchored at Butcher's Inlet near Cossack and was towed by its owners to Melbourne. The ship's engineer James Clark virtually came over to visit bought a horse and came over to visit his great-grandfather, and his great-grandfather talked him into coming over this way because of the the pearlers in the region needed a general agent at the mouth of the Ashburton River, which is just where we camped a couple of nights ago, down near the mouth, and yeah, that's what kicked it off. So yeah, him and his brother come down and opened a trading post, and in 1883, trading post established. Trading post soon becomes successful, with port providing a point for the export of wool, gold, timber, pearls and pearl shell, and the import of other goods for surrounding sheep and cattle stations. The water supply provided by an existing Aboriginal soak or well, an essential resource in such a harsh environment. The primary reasons are location, town's early foundations. Virtually the township was short-lived, with frequent cyclones and rapidly silting river. Dock access became an issue for large ships, signifying economic doom for the town. So in 1925, a new jetty opened at Baden Point, which is New Onslow, 20 k's away from here. Yeah, government surveyors chose the location due to the deeper waters and suitability for building the jetty, which allowed easier access for large ships. So Onslow's people and many of its buildings relocated via horse, camel and donkey drawn wagons, leaving Old Onslow to be the ghost town it is today. So it's pretty cool. There's still a fair bit of stuff around too. We've come through a lot of ruins and stuff like that, so we're just going to go for a bit of a cruise around and see what we can find. But right here at this sign, when you come in here, there's toilets here, there's a dump point, some tables and chairs. So it's pretty well set up here, isn't it? Ashburton Roads Board Office, so formed in 1887, which was responsible for health, sanitation, the cemetery, vermin control, tramway and roads. The veranda consequently became a favourite meeting place for bachelors and others who would come up in the evening for a yarn and a smoke. They could also see anyone coming into town from down the road from about a mile away. So if anyone was coming into town, they'd have a bit of warning of them coming in. We have a square slab here, some old posts. This looks big. This would have been the actual, that must have been an outhouse or something over there. This here you can see where the actual wall was here. The post. There's even part of building might have went out that way more. There's even part of a wall of some sort there as well. Oh. There's bottles. Oh, bottles everywhere. Yeah, you can definitely see the old ruins of where the buildings would have been. Right on your main road as you're coming into town. Piles of bottles everywhere. All through town there's just these piles of bottles. A wagon or some contraption. Sort. Got here all these blacksmith and carpentry. Site 8's the Rob Roy Hotel. So James Clark, who was an engineer on a steamship, ill-fated steamship, the Rob Roy, helped establish the original port at Ashburton River, 1882 to 83. Together with his brother-in-law, they built the Rob Roy Hotel in 1886. At the back of the Rob Roy Hotel, Asian pearl divers were known to play mahjong, a tile-based game that was developed in the 19th century in China. There you go. See what else we got. In an isolated frontier town far from civilization, a primary consideration for police was the control of drunkenness, and its associated rowdiness, particularly when the pearl luggers were in with a good harvest of pearl shell when miners arrived in town having found gold. Illegal supplying of Aboriginal people with liquor, you got a £20 fine or 3 months hard labour. Bit harsh. Yeah, they had very harsh penalties for trivial offences. Residents. We've got a door adjoining them.
We're at stop 13, which is the post and telegraph station, and it was a stone structure as well, which had a really nice veranda, but it was opened in October 1885, around the same time that Onslow was gazetted as a town, and it was marked as the first government building constructed here and really provided the central point of the layout of the town. So there was normally a lot of timber frame structures, but this was later replaced with the stone that we can still see today in the ruins. But that didn't occur until 1894, so almost 10 years after it started operating. And it really opened up the communication between Onslow and Perth, and Michael Ryan served as the first postmaster from October 1885 to 1890. And Aboriginal men were also employed in the post and telegraph services as assistant linesmen. Postmaster had a couple of kids sitting there, so yeah, to bring a small young family up out here would have definitely been a tough gig. Unfortunately, very little here at the hospital.
Yeah, big camel trains. Camelier's name was Blue-Eyed Abdul. Horse-drawn tram, taking wool and cargo to the jetty in 1924. Passengers and baggage and wool on their way to the sea jetty, 1901. The sea jetty was built in 1901. It was 4 miles from town. The tram was horse-drawn and comprised a flatbed platform for freight and a partially enclosed passenger cart, which was often utilised for recreational purposes. And picnic parties would occasionally commandeer the passenger section of the tram. And yeah, they used this goods shed for unloading from the tram and the bond store, which was a customs clearinghouse for imported goods. And the tram tracks, continued along the jetty to the end where passengers could disembark and goods could be loaded and unloaded on the ships.
The Old Onslow Cemetery was used from 1882 onwards.
But yeah, there was a pretty diverse range of cultures buried here. You got Aboriginal people, Afghan Cameleers, pioneers, their families, seafarers, station owners, their workers, Asian pearl divers and others. So it was restored in 2019. The cemetery revealed headstone memorials, palisades and elements in separate denominational areas.
just coming into the tiny town of Onslow. There wasn't even a sign to say welcome. Oh, this is the little church that was relocated from Old Onslow. It was burnt down or damaged in a cyclone during the early 1900s. So they brought all the parts here and restored it, from my understanding. St. Nicholas. Yeah, established here in 1927 by the looks of it. This is the View Caravan Park. We had a look up the top there where they're making the new section of the caravan park. This area is, you can see us just up there in that back row at the moment. It also has this large area over here for parking. All of the sites have the gravel to park on and the synthetic grass for you to step out and have nice comfort under your feet. It's great. Council or Shire run caravan park. The rates are very reasonable, especially if you stay for 7 nights. It was able to get our cost down to $33 a night, and that is in September, so yeah, still sort of at the tail end of the peak season. And then for this upper section there is also another shower block. All contained in the same building, but males and females are on separate sides, and the laundry are in as well. Beaten Bay pub, which historically had all of that accommodation on the roof. Tonight we are going to have some greenhouse pasta. We have some delicious bruschetta, and this one is a Mexican parma that has some jalapenos, chippies, corn chips. Crazy, let's go. Really nice to come have a calm, relaxing week, go down and have some great community sort of spirit down at the pub, some really good quality meals, and then get back on the road and keep travelling.
A picture of you.
I'm doing a picture of you.
Me?
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Got a late runner. Late runner. Come on, come on, come on. Gilly and Mark, artists, have created these paparazzi dogs, and they are here at Onslow taking some stunning photos of the sunrise, but they are also known to be found in places like Federation Square in Melbourne, Woolloomooloo Wharf in Sydney, the Jing'an Sculpture Park in Shanghai, and outside Ruffles City shops in Singapore. There's also some in New York's Brooklyn and Greenwich Village. These doggies started out as sort of like a series and have ended up in some really amazing places over the world, including here at Onslow. Up, ready to go. Last minute emu bob, make sure that we haven't left anything behind. These great grassed areas, very reasonable level sites actually.